So I'm at the last stop before the end of the Ashton Line, which is Ashton West. So this is the route that we're on now, between Eccles and Ashton-under-Lyne. Here's where we are, Ashton West. But you can see this dotted line here, which means that outside of peak times, all trams will run via Media City UK, but it's a Saturday and it's just after 9 AM, which means that trams will stop running via Media City UK and instead run on the direct route between Harbour City and Broadway. And this route, this orange one, will replace all the services from Media City. Okay, it's already on the display boards, so that's a clue for what we're going to be talking about. Okay, so we're going to get on the next tram to Ashton. It's running a bit late. It was supposed to arrive 30 seconds ago. But again, we are at the end of the line, and the trams do pass through the busy city centre, so it's likely for them to be delayed once they get towards the end of the line like this. So let's assume that this tram got in at 9:32 on time. It's going to leave again at 9:44 in about 5 minutes. And what's supposed to happen now, at 9:44, is another tram to Eccles is supposed to be replacing the one that just left. But that's when you notice something a bit weird. This tram isn't going to Eccles, it's going to Trafford Bar. So basically, now that the trams are running on a shorter route, 6 minutes shorter, that means one tram has to be taken out of service because it doesn't fit in with the schedules anymore. So once it gets to the end of the line, it turns around, doesn't head back to Eccles, heads to the depot in Old Trafford. So this is where that tram's going to run up to. Trafford Bar. You can see it's off of the correct route, which goes up towards Pomona. It's going to go to Trafford Bar, and imagine that the depot is around here. That's where it's going to pull into the depot. So because the Media City UK route is 6 minutes longer than the direct route, somewhere the network has to have gone out of sync with the 12-minute service frequency. So how do they resolve this problem? 1, they take a tram out of service, and 2, to fill in the gap, they turn trams around at the end of the line slightly quicker. But here's the even weirder thing, you can still board the tram. Even though it's running on the wrong route and it's going back to the depot, you can still board it. And according to the schedules, that Trafford Bar tram had to leave at 9:53. But the last time I was here, the tram ended up leaving about a minute early. So I don't think it really matters when the Trafford Bar tram leaves. It just matters that it gets out of the way for the next service to Eccles, which is this one, which is scheduled to leave at 9:56. And there it goes. So yeah, that Trafford Bar tram is going to run in service back to the depot. As far as Trafford Bar, then obviously it's going to go into the depot from there. And I find that really odd, actually. I really thought that it would run out of service. Alright, we're going to get back on the tram, head back to Ashton West, and I'll talk a bit more. Now at around 6:30 is when the peak service ends for Saturday. Again? So after 6:30 they have to re-enter that tram into service. So what they do is they take a tram that was running on the route to Etihad campus and they instead set it to run from Media City all the way to Ashton, and then it merges back onto the main route. So if you see a tram heading towards Trafford Bar instead of Eccles on the Ashton Line on a Saturday, 10 AM, I know it's really specific, but try and look for it. Now you know why. Subscribe if you like, and thanks for watching.